have a few seconds to actually capture the recruiter's attention when they do view your resume. So you want to make sure that you make those few seconds count. Welcome to my channel. My name is Nicole Nyasha and I create career-related content. In this video, I'm walking you through the different sections you should have on your resume. But before we get started, I want to let you know that your resume does not need to be one page. Of course, depending on your experience, it can be a page, but if you're a bit more experienced, you've worked for a couple of years, it's okay for your resume to be 2 and even 3 pages long. The important thing is the actual content in your resume. I've mentioned this before and I'll mention it again, but you have a few seconds to actually capture the recruiter's attention when they do view your resume. So you want to make sure that you make those few seconds count. It's so important for you to remember this and to also keep in mind that when recruiters are going through resumes, most of the times they have 3 piles or 3 categories that they will classify your resume under. The first pile is the yes pile. This is the candidate that the recruiter is really excited to connect with, and in their mind they're like, I definitely want to reach out to this candidate. The second pile is the no, I am not going to reach out to this candidate. In fact, why did they even apply to this position? And lastly, there's a maybe pile, and they would put you in this category if they're not like 100% convinced and maybe they still want to view a couple of more resumes and then come back to you later if they don't find anything else. So your objective when writing your resume should be to land on the yes pile and have recruiters want to reach out to you. Now let's get into the actual resume. The first section that you want to have is your personal information. Over here, you want to state your name, your phone number, because obviously you want people to be able to call you. You also want to include your email address, and I would highly recommend that you get rid of that email address that you created when you were in high school and come up with something that's really professional, preferably first dot last name at whatever service provider you're using, or something that is anything as long as it's professional. You don't want to use Twinkle Star 27 or Hot Girl 95, whatever it is that your email address was when you're 16. Under this section, you'll also include your address, but be careful not to include your complete address with like your street number, your unit number. If you're living in a condo or apartment, people can be really crazy. And don't forget, you're uploading your resume on the internet. You never know where it's going to end up. So you don't want a bunch of people knowing your name, your phone number, your email address, and your address. So just be careful to put something that is not so direct. You could put maybe your city and postal code. That is sufficient. The next section is your professional summary. A professional summary is basically a few lines that states your targeted position as well as your experience in a short but concise paragraph. It should match your qualifications with the job requirements, demonstrate that you're a good fit for the position, as well as entice the reader to continue reading your resume. After your professional summary, it's recommended that you have a skills or areas of expertise section. When you apply for a job online, most of the times your resume will pass through an ATS. Some companies actually feed their ATS with information so that it filters through resumes so that the recruiter will only receive qualified resumes that meet the specific criteria that they need. So your areas of expertise section should be filled with both technical and soft skills, but make sure that they are related and correlate to whatever is in the job description. So before you start writing your resume, make sure you spend a couple of minutes studying the job description, and if you need to, populate it onto a word cloud so that the keywords can really jump out into your face, and then use these to determine what skills you want to include in this section. And then now we can move on to the experience section, which is actually the meat of the pie. The mistake that a lot of people make when writing their resume is simply listing their tasks, what they do on a day-to-day basis. And whilst this is not a bad thing, it's not sufficient for you to really have a winning resume that would attract interviews. You want to strike a good balance between your responsibilities, which is the work that you actually do on a day-to-day basis, and your accomplishments, which is the results of the work that you do. Your resume should be able to demonstrate how well you accomplished your day-to-day tasks so that this positions you as a potentially good and qualified candidate for the position that you're applying for. I know when it comes to accomplishments, it can get a bit tricky, but my recommendation is not to overthink it. Accomplishments don't necessarily only have to be revenue or money that you brought in for the company. Your accomplishments could be anything that you helped save the company costs, time. Maybe you turned a frustrated customer into a happy customer who then wrote you a compliment. Don't overthink it. Think of the very basic and simple things. If you were able to improve a process, that's an accomplishment. Also ensure that your sentences are varied in length. You want to have a variety of 1 to 3, at the most 4 sentences per bullet point. And moving on to education, your qualifications are obviously a very important part of your resume. Now, where you put your education section in the resume depends on your experience level. If you're a recent graduate, then it's recommended that you put your education at the top of your resume, so right under the skills and expertise section, because you're a recent graduate and you have limited experience. However, if you've been working for a couple of years, then your education should be at the bottom under the work experience section. If you have an undergraduate degree, then don't list your high school diploma or your high school certification. You can list anything from your college diploma and going up. And that is it for the standard resume template. I also have an ebook titled The Anatomy of a Winning Resume, in which I go in more detail for every section, telling you exactly what to include and provide examples. I recommend that you check that out and you download it. I'll link it in the description box. I also provide resume critique services if you'd like a professional to review your resume and provide you with actionable feedback. And lastly, if you just want to chat about your job search, pick my brain, you can actually book an hour to have a conversation with me. The links for all of that will also be in the description box. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless you.